Hi everyone, I'm Catherine Gagnon, I'm a health coach, and welcome to the Energy, Health and Courage video capsules. Today I want to talk to you about anxious and depressive states. You know, somebody doesn't have to be diagnosed with major depressive disorder or generalized anxiety disorder in order to experience depressive states, you know, like where you're just feeling kind of down, nothing's going your way, you're maybe hitting yourself, being so severe with yourself, being so critical of yourself that you're kind of, your energy is down. Same thing, anxiety, it doesn't have to be a diagnosis for you to experience anxious states. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be late at this appointment. Oh my gosh, what is this person going to think about me? What's going to happen? I've got these bills to pay, money stressors. Oftentimes it's money, family, work-related stressors. So what I want to speak to you about today is some strategies to come out of depressive and anxious states. Very simple ones, in fact. For anxiety, we discovered that food can trigger anxiety. I don't know if you've ever had like too much coffee and then your heart's going like this and then you're shaking, and for some people who are kind of more prone to anxiety, it can literally trigger panic attacks or just raise the level of anxiety. The way food provokes anxiety also is through the blood sugar roller coaster. So let's say you eat something really sweet and then your blood sugar spikes up, and in order to bring it back down, you have to produce a lot of insulin to bring it back down, and oftentimes you crash after a big sugar intake. So when you crash, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm shaky, I've got, chills, I can't think straight, I need more sugar, and then you eat more sugar, and then the roller coaster for your blood sugar goes up and down and up and down and up and down. It can also happen if you're not timing your meals properly. If you wait too long, it can engage this blood sugar roller coaster, and just that is enough to engage the anxiety, because your body is feeling threatened. It's scared that it's going to go into, like the fuel goes on empty, right? When I was working as a nurse practitioner, I had a couple of patients like this that we just looked at their breakfast. And just by fixing the breakfast so that it starts the day with a stable blood sugar, some of them we were able to reduce and even withdraw all medication for anxiety. Isn't that powerful, right? So that's food. That's the effect of food on depression and anxiety. Food can also induce a depressed state, and that is proven with certain grains and gluten. Also, when somebody experiences a state of depression, there's a good chance that their thought is in the past. They're disappointed of something that they wish was done better or differently, or somebody has hurt them and they're just kind of re-triggering that thought all the time. So depressive states are thoughts that are in the past, while anxious states are more about thoughts that are in the future. Like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen with that bill that I need to pay? Oh my gosh, I've got all these appointments and I'm so crunched up with time, and I'm so overwhelmed, and am I going to be able to even finish on time, and what's going to happen? So can you see how depressive states involves thoughts in the past and anxious states involves thoughts in the future? What do those things have in common, the past and the future, is that they are two moments that don't exist. The past doesn't exist anymore, and the future doesn't exist yet. So the only moment that you have is here right now. It's the present moment. And there's a study that was made. It's really interesting, that study. They interviewed people from all walks of life, old, young people, and they called them at any time of the day, and they asked them, what are you doing? What were you thinking just before I called you? And what's your level of happiness between 0 and 10? 10 being the most happy ever. And what they found out was really interesting. They found out that people who were in the present moment, so they were thinking about what they were doing in that moment, were the happiest. People who were thinking about stuff in the past or in the future, even though it was, let's say, happy memories or a happy thought, they were not as happy as people who were literally sitting in the present moment. Simple, right? This is so simple. So what can you do to bring yourself back to the present moment? The only moment that exists. Use your 5 senses, or 6, intuition is one of them, at least for me. Use your senses, it's rediscovering your environment, like you're a kid, oh wow, like you're a kid seeing a bird for the very first time, and all the awe in there, hearing what you hear. Oh, I'm hearing the wind going through the trees. What are you touching? Let's say you're putting flowers in the flower beds, and oh my gosh, touching the earth, touching the petals and the leaves. Just bring yourself back to your senses, back to your breathing in the present moment. And that is how you get out of a depressed or anxious state. And recognize that you tend to do that to yourself. You bring yourself back in the past by being disappointed or, in the depressive state, and then you bring yourself in the future. So get a trigger, get a psychological cue of, oh yeah, when I think this way, I need to bring myself back in the present moment. And where I think that way, I need to bring myself back in the present moment. So I'm really curious to see if you start applying these simple strategies, what's going to come up for you in your own life. Maybe body sensations, maybe something will open up for you. Maybe you'll have more mental clarity, more energy, more courage to speak your truth and be all that you are. So please let me know in comments below what's showing up for you. I'm really looking forward to connect with you. All right, bye-bye.